Granger calls for national unity, and government ensuring systems are in place to safeguard against COVID-19. Stay with us as we take you through major stories covered from March 9 to 13, 2020. Thank you for joining us. President David Granger, in his message to the nation on Monday, in observance of Pagwa, reiterated the call for national unity.
The head of state reminded that the Festival of Holi promotes togetherness and breaks down the barriers of suspicion and insecurity. He noted that it is a path towards social cohesion and enriches the country's multicultural nature. The president stated, and I quote, "I urge all Guyanese, regardless of religion or region of residence, to continue to live in harmony, to eschew hatred, and to contribute to the common good by strengthening social cohesion and heightening national consciousness. The celebration of Holi is a joyous occasion, and for Guyanese, it is even more auspicious this year because we are commemorating the nation's 50th Republic anniversary." End of quote. The president extended greetings to the nation and expressed optimism that the festival encourages stronger bonds of cohesion in Guyana. For InfoHub, Anara Khan.
Prime Minister the Honorable Moses Nagamutu has called on all Guyanese and organizations to immediately condemn an opposition devised plan, which, if implemented, could be tantamount to waging an undeclared war of genocide against the urban population.
According to the Prime Minister, and I quote, "This plan aims at isolating and starving the people of Georgetown, the capital which comprises the single largest section of Guyana's mainly Afro-Guyanese population. No agricultural produce should reach the city," one of several terrorist manuals stated. Another urged closure of businesses in the city, especially bakeries. End of quote. The plan was issued by 1953 Movement, an apparent PPP front which is advertising the PPPC to take full control over all 6 regions they won. It has been published on social media. Prime Minister Nagamutu stated, quote, "It is clear that this CDS exercise is to destabilize the country and to promote an armed and racist insurrection in Guyana. I call on the Guyanese people and their organizations to immediately condemn this plan which, if implemented, could be tantamount to waging an undeclared war of genocide against the urban population. They must call for national dialogue." End of quote. Prime Minister Nagamutu urged Guyanese to not be provoked by the pro-PPP conspirators and to not be intimidated by their divisive tactics. He said that they should remain calm and keep the peace and allow all disputes over the outcome of the March 2 elections to be adjudicated by the Constitutional Court and the Guyana Elections Commission.
A delegation of Karakum leaders arrived on Wednesday in Guyana and met with a number of players in the recently held general and regional elections.
Chair of Karakum and Prime Minister of Barbados, the Honorable Mia Motley, arrived in Guyana on Wednesday morning. The Karakum chair is leading a delegation which includes other Karakum leaders, Prime Ministers of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, Grenada, Dr. Keith Mitchell, Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, and Dominica Roosevelt Skerritt. During the 2-day visit, the Karakum heads will meet with representatives of the Commonwealth, Organization of American States, European Union and Carter Center observer missions who have been in Guyana monitoring the conduct of the March 2, 2020 general and regional elections. The delegation will also meet with the leadership of all parties that contested the polls. The visiting Karakum team hopes to assist in arriving at a resolution to the impasse that resulted from last Monday's general elections. From the Eugene Correa International Airport with senior videographer Kenyan Bacchus, Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
The Guyana Elections Commission resumed the Region 4 tabulation process at the Commission's headquarters on Friday.
The Guyana Elections Commission and the PPP were back in court on Friday after a contempt of a court charge was brought by the PPP against the Commission and Region 4 Returning Officer Clement Mingo. Representatives from both sides were referred to mediation by Acting Chief Justice Roxanne George to flesh out issues surrounding the tabulation of District 4 results. After the parties could not meet a compromise, the Chief Justice sought to provide guidance and insisted that the SOPs be displayed during the tabulation process of the Region 4 results. Speaking to media operatives after the session, GCOM's Attorney Senior Counsel Neil Boston said that GCOM is in full compliance with the Chief Justice's order and accused the PPP of prolonging the process.
Mr. Lowenfield has computed the votes from the statement of poll and he has it on a spreadsheet. Now he's using this spreadsheet, he's calling numbers, and then he's putting on the screen the numbers as well as the statement of poll to reflect that. But Mr. Nandalal, they want it is either Nandalal and Gunraj and Robeson Benway or no way at all, and that's not the law. So what is going on there is full compliance with the order of the Chief Justice. So the Chief Justice has given us an opportunity to go and speak about it, and then we will return because they are just prolonging this process. If we have to file affidavit, we are not going to get anywhere.
GCOM's Chairperson Justice Retired Claudette Singh reiterated that if there are discrepancies, there could be recounts.
If there's discrepancy, I would say they will be addressed at the end, and if they cannot be addressed, then why not a recount?
So you open to recount?
Before too, yes, box by box.
Meanwhile, after much drama at the office of the returning officer, GCOM continued the counting process of the Region 4 results. The process came to a halt and resumed at the GCOM headquarters in keeping with the decision to have the remaining SOPs scanned and projected on screen for the Region 4 tabulation exercise. For InfoHub, Alexis Rodney.
President David Granger, in confirming Guyana's first recorded case of the coronavirus or COVID-19, outlined what the government is doing to ensure that the local population is safeguarded against the transmission of the virus.
The head of state has assured that measures are being taken to prevent the risk of community spread. These include continued screening, which will take place at all ports of entry, and flagging of persons traveling from a list of high-risk countries.
Screening remains in place for those persons arriving from high-risk countries. 7 countries, Jamaica, Dominican Republic, Brazil, French Guyana, Panama, St. Vincent, and the United States of America, have been added to the list of 8. People's Republic of China, Italy, South Korea, Singapore, Japan, Thailand, Malaysia, and Iran that were previously made public.
The Ministry of Public Health has in place enhanced sensitization of key personnel at all air and sea ports. Also, the ministry has enough personnel, protective equipment in the country for our health facilities. It has also adequate stores of respiratory medicine for the next 3 months. President Granger has called on the public to refrain from panic.
I use this opportunity to appeal to the public to remain calm and to implement all the advisories relating to personal hygiene, social distancing, and overall infection prevention and control. The government of Guyana will continue to keep the public informed as we manage this public health challenge.
There has also been a robust communications campaign rolled out by the PAHO WHO in Guyana with the Ministry of Public Health to keep the population updated on the virus and its impacts. The National Emergency Operations Center will be activated to provide sector-wide support. For InfoHub, Delicia Haynes.
A 24-hour coronavirus hotline has been set up by the Ministry of Public Health to help tackle its spread and to aid with related inquiries.
In addition to other necessary precautions being taken to prevent the spread of the coronavirus, also called COVID-19, the Ministry of Public Health has put in place a 24-hour COVID-19 hotline. COVID-19, which was declared a pandemic by the World Health Organization on March 11, 2020, originated in Wuhan, China, and causes severe respiratory illness. It is recommended that persons who display symptoms of the virus or feel as though they may be infected call the hotline for guidance instead of leaving their homes to visit the hospital. The hotline will be operational on a 24-hour basis to Guyanese with concerns and questions. The hotline team will guide callers through the process to assess the situation. If symptoms are in line with that of the coronavirus and the person is very ill, a team will be sent to the home of the individual for further assessment. The numbers to call are 227-4986, extension 215, or 624-3067. The Ministry of Public Health is also reminding all Guyanese to take precautions by washing their hands correctly, avoiding hand-to-face contact as much as possible, using hand sanitizers, and disinfecting surfaces properly. If you or someone else you know displays symptoms of the virus or feel uncertain about what symptoms you may have, do not hesitate and call the ministry's hotline today. The numbers are 227-4986, extension 215, or 624-3067.
Following news of the first confirmed case, the Ministry of Education has advised that effective Monday, March 16, 2020, all public schools will be closed for a period of 2 weeks. The ministry said the decision will be reassessed during this period and further guidance will be provided. For further information, persons can contact the Ministry of Public Health on telephone numbers 226-1175 or the Ministry's hotline on 227-4986 or 624-3067. In the same vein, the University of Guyana has indicated that the facility will remain closed until March 20, 2020.
While the mid-semester break is over, the University of Guyana remains closed to non-essential staff and students and is expected to reopen for classes after March 20. The university's Transitional Management Committee urges students and faculty members to remain vigilant and stay safe. UG has released a statement through its Student Record and Management System, SRMS, outlining precautions as highlighted by the World Health Organization. During this period, students and staff are advised to carry on their educational activities as advised by lecturers and academic staff as far as possible using electronic means. Lecturers have continued with their course loads via electronic platforms to ensure that academic guidelines are met. In light of the events that are unfolding, several lecturers are postponing mid-semester examinations and projects to allow students time to deal with their health concerns. The University of Guyana will continue to update its students and staff through email, WhatsApp, and the UG website. Natisha Isaacs for InfoHub.
Citizens on Friday vented their frustration following the significant hike in prices for disinfectant and other items, which can be used to prevent the risk of contracting the coronavirus or COVID-19.
When citizens visited the local pharmacies and stores across the country to purchase the necessary disinfectants among other items, some were greeted with significant price increases, much to their dissatisfaction.
It affects a lot of people because a lot of people can't afford. They carry out up to 500, 1,000.
So I think that they should really, exploit people by overcharging them. They should sell the thing normal as usual.
The Guyana Competition and Consumers Affairs Commission has already condemned this act. Communications Officer of the Guyana Competition and Consumers Affairs Commission, Alison Parker.
The CCAC has received credible information of price gouging on items which have been recommended for use to assist in the prevention of the spread of the coronavirus. While we have no legal standing to regulate market prices, we wish to use moral suasion in our appeal to suppliers to revert to the common prices for the items they are now gouging on. We think it's morally wrong to take advantage of consumers during any national emergency, and in this case, that of a possible health crisis. We're asking suppliers to put people over excessive profits. We're asking them to desist from gouging and jacking up those prices as they have been doing over the last 2 days.
For InfoHub, I am Kellon Rover.
The violent protests and riot by PPP supporters on Friday, March 6, 2020, which left 4 students and 6 police officers injured, have caused the Guyana Police Force to put measures in place in the event of a reoccurrence.
Today, only 1 police officer remains in the hospital nursing injuries. So Cops and Faith Community Network are giving counseling to the officers who are said to be recovering well. The ranks were attacked by a group of men armed with cutlass, wood, iron, and other weapons on March 6. The students who were attacked and injured on the David G. school bus have been discharged from the hospital but are now dealing with the trauma they had to endure. The chaos and violence also saw an 18-year-old losing his life. Another has been arrested for being in possession of a firearm, along with millions worth in damage to public property. Burning of vehicles, blocking of the road, and destruction of public property were the actions of disgruntled PPP supporters following GCOM's release of results for Region 4. The Guyana Police Force has since issued a stern warning against violent protests and calling citizens to keep the peace. They have also been looking into the public order equipment and armored vehicle in the event of another violent protest.
A renowned international elections observer, Dr. Joe Beasley, says Guyanese should lead the elections process, not the outsiders.
Civil rights activist Dr. Joe Beasley, a global humanitarian on behalf of the African Ascension Organization, expressed concern that, quote, the United States, the European Union, the United Kingdom, and Canada were the first parties to decry the integrity of the elections outcome following their announcement, and not the people of Guyana. Reinterpret their statements before and immediately after the vote count as sinister and biased towards one group of the political elite over the other, end of quote. Dr. Beasley asked that, quote, these Western nations cease forthwith from issuing statements that can destabilize the nation of Guyana. Members of the diplomatic corps should channel their recommendations through the traditional diplomatic channels as provided for under the Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations and not through press advisories and releases, end of quote. He noted that 5 years ago, Guyanese elected President David Granger peacefully after 23 years of the PPP without the support or interference of Western nations. He called on all Guyanese to, quote, come together to develop frameworks on how to ensure that the discovery of oil leads to their shared prosperity as a nation and not permit Western powers to dictate their terms of engagement with each other, end of quote. Dr. Beasley is a civil rights activist and leading humanitarian who also served as an observer in South Africa's 1994 elections that culminated in the end of apartheid. He also observed elections in countless nations, including Haiti, Zambia, and most recently South Africa again in 2019. He is advising Guyana's political elite to work together, ensuring the country remains that way for them and their future generations. Paul McAdam for InfoHub.
The Department of Social Cohesion is scheduled to host the prize-giving ceremony for this year's Matrimony 2020 winners. Among the winners is now 8-time Road March Queen Melissa Vandala Roberts.
And elated Roberts shared her excitement at copping the title of 2020 Road March Queen. I'm happy and elated to have won this title because that means I'm just 2 steps closer to my ultimate goal of becoming a 10-time Road March Queen. This is just to set a record for future generations to beat. Meanwhile, Linden, Barticle, and Region 3 administration received 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place respectively in the full costume category. Linden Mayor Her Worship Bonica Arndale shared her happiness with InfoHub. I'm shocked, elated, and surprised. Our costume was a team effort, more so under the guidance of our town clerk. This year, Linden celebrated its 50th anniversary, and so this win makes it even better. Vanilla and several other artists like Jomo Primo, Brandon Hardin and reigning chutney monarch Bunty Singh have collaborated to remake her 2019 hit, One Voice. The move was organized by Nigel Sokofok Rorel, who brought the singers together to combine their talents to positively influence the public. The artists have joined their voice to remake a song that calls for peace, love, and unity. Let's check it out.
We're gonna lift her up, lift her up, lift her up. So many years have passed and we know they're still fooling we. That we are one people, one nation with one destiny.
It's time we link our minds, make it reality. There are some politicians who don't want to see unity.
Neola Damon, InfoHub.
Mashing up big Guyana.
One voice, it's the voice of the people.
Let me make them know, only dealing with racial harmony.
Oneness, 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 one voice.
On Monday, March 9, Guyanese celebrated Pagwa, a Hindu holiday which means a festival of colors. In true Guyanese form, citizens came out in their numbers to usher in the celebrations. InfoHub took its cameras to the streets to get you a glimpse of the activity. Let's take a look.
One people, one nation, oneness. Do me a favor, let's play Holi. Rango mein hai pyar ki bole.
As our InfoHub team roved the capital city, families could be seen taking part in one of the most ancient, joyous and colourful festivals of the Hindu calendar. Just a brief history. On the eve of Pagwa, during the full moon, there is an event called the burning of Holika, which ushers in Pagwa. In Hindu Vedic scriptures, Holika, a demoness, was burned to death with the help of God Vishnu. The story of Holika's death signifies the triumph of good over evil. Now back to Pagwa celebrations. Guyanese celebrated the holiday in Albais Town at the popular Sitabaran Station Street Kitty, Albert Town Eccles and other parts of the country. Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
Before we go, here are some tips to take to prevent getting infected with the coronavirus or COVID-19.
Here are some steps to take to prevent getting infected with the novel coronavirus. Maintain a distance of at least 1 meter from persons who are coughing or sneezing. Practice hand hygiene frequently by washing hands thoroughly with soap and water or using a hand sanitizer if hands are not visibly soiled. Cover mouth and nose with a tissue when coughing or sneezing and then discarding it. Resist the habit to touch the face. If you have a fever, cough, and difficulty breathing, seek medical attention early and share your travel history with the healthcare professional. The Ministry of Public Health has a hotline in place to provide information on the coronavirus. Members of the public can call 227-4986 or 624-3067.
This has been InfoHub Recap, which looked at major stories carried from March 9 to 13, 2020. Remember to subscribe to our website for more stories and follow us on our social media platforms. Also, do take some time to review the Diaspora Digest and all the publications found on our website. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Goodbye for now.